Great stuff.
Good. Over to you.
Brill. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Lovely to be here and to present in front of you all. I'm Hailey, obviously. I'm interested in transmedial transgender narratives, so identifying how we find ourselves and sort of through our gender as we move between mediums. It's not much ever about the destination, but about the sort of splitting of the atom, the moving between. I'm going to share my screen here. Just bear with me 1 second here. Um, and you will see that okay?
Yes, we can see
Yeah.
pink angels begin. No, angels, yes.
Perfect. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Brill. So for now, I'm going to talk about a meme first and foremost from 2018, and then I'm going to talk about a piece of interactive fiction called Angels Dancing, which I wrote in 2022 and haven't been able to get out of my head since. Um, and in the process there, of course, I'm going to talk about myself. Um, there's a post on tumblr.com from April 12th, 2018, by user at Zeppeli. Um, I don't see it then, but I see it a few years later, and the post is composed of two photos, um, each with 4 frames between. A young man leans forward, um, holding onto his flannel, and with squinted eyes beneath a flap cap asks, "Promise you won't cry." This format comes up every so often, but the format as a whole falls pretty out of favor intentionally here. The next frame shows a cat, a white cat struck by this overwhelming emotion, with tears sitting on its white fur. Its eyes are open, but it can't look at us. The next frame is the young man again, posed differently, closer, saturated, quieter. On a hand-drawn white background, text in Arial font reads, sorry. My spirit is being reclaimed by the universe energy. My final hour on Earth has come. In the last frame of the first image, the cat can no longer hold back its reaction. Its eyes are closed, and in a black text box, white Arial font writing collects their parting message. I will never forget you. In the second image, the young man begins to fade. The exposure is raised, and the shadows are removed. And with a crystalline focus, his final hour is here. We do not have an hour to spend with him. The universe energy is now dictating the show. He is a victim or a byproduct of it. The JPEG is compressed and cannot be undone. Something has collapsed irreversibly, and someone has been taken from the world, whatever they do. Not just the world, but the universe as a whole. This is a feeling, an overriding feeling that I think has been accumulating presence on the internet and through mimetic culture here and today. We've become interested in this idea of the world ending, of these overriding spiritual forces, compelling our narratives and how we talk to each other, um, to this feeling of something being removed, that we are at the end and looking beyond. And Angels Dancing is a text that looks to address this, to sort of pick apart what it means or feels like as a character or as a person to move beyond a dying digital universe. The piece revolves around 3 characters, Carrie, Rena, and Aman. Carrie has lost Aman, leading him and Rena on a journey to unwork this established reality of a characterized universe. The universe here being analogous or open to how we fictionalize a presence of the internet. The piece aims to develop the field of electronic literature with experimentalism, and I'll post a link towards the end here as well. Um, but works as a sort of digital artifact, and a piece of electronic literature. It is made by hand in the sense I learned HTML and CSS to put it together via NeoCities, a um, cluster or sort of hosting mechanism by which one can relive the sort of joys of GeoCities back in its day. Um, and that offers a real sense of intentionality and construction with how you want to present what you want to present. It's since its publication in 2020, it's had a lot of fiction put on it, and Angels Dancing is a publication that looks to carry on through that. Um, there's some multimodal experimental presentation of this dissociation that our characters find themselves within or underneath this universe energy. Um, from the outset, I'm playing with a relatively old theory of terminal identity, exploring the metaphysics of existing within the computer, offering perspectivity of what it means to be within the screen and look or try to perceive outside of it. Um, what happens then when there is an apocalypse from that perspective, or whenever we try in a form of a transmedial narrative to break through the screen or become something more. Um, as such, then, where Angels Dancing positions itself in 2026 is where a dissociative reality has bled carelessly through our own perceptions of the internet. Um, the world is beginning to make less and less sense. The idea of a polycrisis presents itself before us. Um, and still, we have, as both academics, as in my discipline of creative writing, a need for order, or at least to make patterns of the progressively less sensible world around us. Um, what I attempt to do through Angels Dancing is encapsulate or reflect this idea of chaos, um, to recognize that the digital web page can be broken down for how we want to space or display or encapsulate our perspectivity of the digital, that nothing is as fixed, or it is only as fixed as we want it to be. Um, it's an experimentation in that sense of reality itself as a machine that we are stuck in, and a machine that is being broken down and reworked under a variety of influences. Um, within the text, there is this idea of the universe, a sort of creator God machine, as an inescapable artifact. The machine becomes consciousness in itself. The machine among these things is broken. This notion of a dysfunctional reality, I want to emphasize, and I think is worth exploring as writers, and as artists all the same. How do we see through it? How do we break through it? How do we find ourselves within it? Um, I find this a challenge to work through and to sort of pick back up on, um, as I sort of find myself as a transgender woman displaced within the world around me. Um, and I found myself continuing to come back to Angels Dancing. Um, I am trying to consult this reality. I'm trying to break through it. I'm trying to find myself within these characters. Um, if you haven't already, like I say, I'll post a link. But um, and I recommend sort of reading through it. It is both concrete and set in stone by some means, but as a sort of fiction text, one that wants to consult that question of what it means to be reclaimed by the universe. And how can we consult that through our digital writing? How can we use the form to approach that through an indexed and tangible measure? Um, I'll post the link in the chat now, but um, I'd uh, encourage you all, like I say, have a read through. Um, right before I started speaking, Cities went down for about 5 minutes, and I was about to freak out with what on earth am I going to show? But it's all come together here. Um, other than that, yeah, have a go, examine your reaction to it, and what I would encourage you all to think about in your own writing practices is where text goes and how that text can be used to reflect back on the screen, and where the reader finds it themselves. That's all from me. Thank you so much for listening.
Grand. Thank you so much. Yay. All right, I'm going to turn off the recording now for the discussion.